It's Transformers 96 here with another review. This time you have Transformers Age of Extinction from the Lost series by Dakara, Autobot Dino. So here you go. So of course Dakara, with their Age of Extinction line, came out with like a subtitle line called The Lost Age, where they just kind of repainted and retooled a few old figures to make some new characters, or just make new versions of the same characters by doing little tweaks and little paint apps, updating the paint and stuff like that on figures. So they came out with some cool ones, and I was really excited about this. The one that I definitely wanted to get was Dino, though, because we never got a figure of him in the Dark of the Moon toy line, so this was our chance. So here you go. So very happy to get this. If you're wondering where I got it, I did get it from Big Bad Toy Store. They are sold out of it currently, but they might restock on it, and I paid $35 for it. So yeah. Of course, here's a picture of the figure. You got Autobot Dino. You got some Chinese writing. It's always cool to get a Dakara style box to see all the writing in a different language and stuff like that. You get some nice artwork of Dino. I mean, it's artwork based on how he looks as the figure, and not so much as he looked in the movie, but still some nice artwork. Not quite the standard of the regular movie line, but still pretty cool. Get the Transformers Age of Extinction back there, and on the back you get a nice picture of the sports car mode, as it's saying, and the robot mode, and it does have a little bio. I haven't read it yet. Then you get the repaint of Jolt, which comes with some more movie accurate accessories, as well as this Dark Side Soundwave, which does look quite cool. But these two definitely not willing to get. I mostly just wanted to get this Dino figure. So yeah. So here you go. So of course Dino was the Ferrari in Dark of the Moon, and unfortunately they were never able to make him because he was a Ferrari, as Hasbro and Dakara do not own the license to make Ferrari, if I'm correct. So that's why we never got one, and this was just a way of actually getting it from Dakara, which they repainted this off of Sideways, or Dead End. I mean, Sideways and Dead End are the same sculpt, so this is a straight up repaint of those two figures. He does come with some accessories here. These blades, I won't really talk about them in car mode because they're mainly just for the robot mode, of course. But yeah, so of course he is, as a repaint of Sideways, he is an Audi R8, very cool car, and this is a nice repaint of it. I mean, it looks good. The red that they use is pretty nice, very glossy too, looks pretty cool. The purple windows and stuff, I can't say I love. I wish that they kind of just stuck with regular windows, regular clear ones, because I believe Dino didn't have any purple windshields in his Ferrari mode, so I really don't understand why they went with purple here. I mean, because purple and red just don't look good to me, at least. So I don't even like the way it looks with the car, and it's not movie accurate at all. So I wish they would have kept regular windows, but really not that big of an issue. You do get the lights, which look really nice, and then the black area down here. This is something that I really like about this car, because with both Dead End and, here we go, Sideways, they both don't have this type of look where you got the with the nice light and then the black under the light. Whenever I see an Audi R8, it always has that type of look, and it just looks really nice. With Dead End, you do have the black, but it's just covered with all the other black, so it really doesn't stand out. And with Sideways, you really don't have any black in there. They just kept it silver, so it just doesn't pop like the real car does. So I do like this version where you can actually see the black with it, and it does look very nice. There's no Audi symbol on it, I thought maybe Sideways. Yeah, I guess none of these cars have the Audi symbol, which is strange, because they do have the license to make Audi, I believe. So yeah, so that is a shame to see that, but overall, still very cool. You get the Autobot symbol right in the back there. Just overall, it's a really neat car in real life, and the toy representation of it is just as cool. Here's all three of them together. As you can see, they're very nice. They all have very colorful windows. This one kind of stays true with this one. I think they all have cool color schemes. I like this one because it's the most realistic, and this was basically exactly how the car looked in the movie. This one is pretty cool, and I do like the red, but this one is definitely my favorite paint color. So yeah. Alright, now on to the transformation. Transformation is pretty simple. That's what I always loved about Sideways. Sideways was my favorite transformation of the Revenge of the Fallen toy line, just because it had a really nice, cool, easy to remember transformation that was fairly easy to do. So to start it off, you get a little automorph feature. Let's just raise this. You're just going to want to push the front kind of grill in, and there you go. This thing pops up and the tires just go right in just like that. And then what you're going to want to do is just split the entire side of the car. Just kind of break it up just like that, and then split the door here. and that is his legs. Let's just split the door here. The door, it's held on by like 5 pegs, which makes it hard to split. Ah, there you go. See how it splits? But see how many pegs are used to hold this door together? There's just a ton of them, so it is quite annoying. These the shoulder joints are just on a simple ball joint, so it does pop off fairly simple, but it does pop in just as simple. So yeah. Alright, as far as the legs go, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to kind of just put them in the chicken leg effect. Just first put up the feet, bend it back, fold this panel down, and then what you're going to want to do is rotate the whole tire assembly to the other side of the leg. And then there's a little peg on the door right there. Let's get some better lighting. Here we go. Alright, you get this little peg on the door here, and it's just going to go right into that hole, just to kind of lock the whole thing in place. It's fairly hard to do this with the camera in front of me, I have to say, and it's not cooperating. There we go. Alright, just peg that right in. There we go. Same thing on this side. Move the foot up, give it that chicken leg effect. Rotate the door up, swing it to the other side, and then plug it in. And there we go. There you have the legs completed. Then we move up to the top here. You're going to want to just unhook this panel from the hood, move the kind of like wing type of things up like that, and then just fold this whole thing up. What you're going to, you know, the transformation, the same thing with sideways and dead end, is to move this up like this. And, you know, I'll give you the exact transformation of how you're supposed to do it, and then I'll show you what I like to do. So that's how you're supposed to do it. Then you go over to this arm, move it up just like this. Take these panels, move them up like this, move it up like this. I always thought it was really interesting how they did the tires, where the tires kind of fit under this assembly. But you're going to want to do that here. Make sure that tires go, that gray bar goes in between the tires. You might have to just move them to the side. There we go. To do it, there we go. Alright, rotate everything in place. Move the backpack back up to his back, and then just rotate the head down, and basically you have, I want to say side side, but you have a Dino in his car mode. And as you can see, this is how you're supposed to do it. Oh, you want to split these front ends too. And this is basically how you're supposed to make them, and this is the same exact transformation as sideways and dead end. One that works for sideways and dead end, but doesn't really work for Dino, in my opinion. What you should do for Dino is just rotate this down, rotate these doors down too. Just keep that whole thing just like this. I actually like the whole assembly to be a little bit lower. These tires need to fold down. There we go. I like the assembly to be more like this, to have it kind of low so that you really can't see the backpack. And then I just keep the doors down to his arms, just like this. And then this is how I transform Dino, so that he doesn't look exactly like Sideways and Sideswipe, so that he's a little different. Plus, it just makes him look a little bit more like the Dino from the movie, just more kind of straightforward with normal proportions and whatnot, and not you know, the crazy panels everywhere on his back and everything. You get him to stand on these little tiny feet, and then there you go, there he is. So here he is. Some people like this. I definitely think that it's really cool, and I think that it's really great that they did give us a representation of Dino. Even if it's not that accurate, it still looks very nice in my opinion though, and still looks very cool. The thing that really bothered me with this mode was the tiny feet. The tiny feet have always annoyed me with Dead End and Sideways. I've always hated those tiny feet, but apparently with Sideways, I mean, it's accurate to the movie, so I really didn't complain about it too much. But with this guy, it's not accurate to the movie, so that just really made me dislike these tiny feet. And I really didn't expect to be able to do anything about it, but I did take a look around my other Transformers to see if there's any other feet that I could use that would look fairly nice, and I was able to find some feet, and I'm very happy about this. Let me show you here. And this is what I found. right here, from Barricade from the first movie. Of course, his feet aren't red, but these are his feet. And what's so cool is that the ball joint is the same size on Dino as well as Barricade. So what I did was I just took Barricade's feet. As you can see, there's a little screw here. I just unscrewed this part, took the entire black panel off, and then I just got some of that blue paint tape and just taped up this little spike here, and then put a little tape in the ball joint, spray painted it red, took off the tape, of course, and then put on this back piece. Got like a paint marker and just painted the top of this, which said police on it, so it's just completely black. And then I'm all set. I've got complete nice feet that go with Dino that work a lot better for him, I think. Before I put them on, let me just give you a little size comparison, because his size does change when you put on those feet. So just to give you a little reference here he is with Q. As you can see, he's just a tad bit taller than Q like this, and yeah, and I'll give you another comparison with them once I do the feet. So let me just replace those feet really fast so that you can see how my version of Dino looks compared to what you're supposed to do, at least. So here he is with my custom feet on and with the swords on as well, and I think that he looks 10 times better. He's definitely a lot more functional in my opinion. He can stand up a lot easier. It's better for doing poses with him because he's more stable, and I just think it looks better. I mean, this is still not 100% accurate. These feet aren't exactly what he had in the movie, of course. I believe in the movie his feet kind of they remind me of the Fallen feet a little bit, and yeah, so of course these aren't accurate, but these are a lot closer to how he looks in the movie than those little tiny feet, because the tiny feet just make him look really weird, and I've always thought they made Sideways look weird, so I definitely didn't like them on Dino, because Dino certainly should not have those tiny feet. So this, even though it's not 100% accurate, it just looks a lot better, and I like the paint scheme. I like the red base feet with the spikes being black and then the back panels being black as well. It fits with them pretty nicely, and the red paint that I was able to find matches, very good. I really, don't have any problem with how it matches, so I'm very happy about that. And I just think he looks a lot better. I was also worried that possibly he might be too tall. I really don't think he's too tall. It does add a decent amount of height to him. He's definitely much taller than Q now. But you can bend the knees a bit more, and with the extra height, it does also take away the chicken feet. So he actually looks like he has regular legs and he doesn't have the chicken feet, which is really cool, because Dino, of course, shouldn't have the chicken legs. So obviously, I think that it looks a ton better. I just think it looks a lot cooler, and I'm definitely very happy with it. The sideways sculpt does work. He should have some panels on his back, some like door panels kind of going out, which he really doesn't. I mean, you can kind of simulate that with his panels on his arms or with those door panels or window panels on his back. I really don't think that they look very nice, so I tend not to have them, so I just, let them be. I love these arms. I've always loved the arms from Sideways. They're just quite bulky, and that does look really nice. One thing that I've always kind of disliked from Sideways is the fact that the whole body doesn't seem to peg in to the top body very well at all. So it does open up extremely easily, like when you're trying to pose his arm, instead of his arm going up, his just entire body will, which is just an annoying type of thing. That's just a problem with the old mold, though. It's really not a problem exclusively with this new figure or anything like that, but still disappointing. The swords are very cool. They do point forward or to the back. The back, I think, is a little more accurate to the movie. I like them forward, though. I think that they just look kind of neat. I would have much preferred that they were just on a swivel so that we can just swivel them back and then swivel them up. Them being on just like a peg has been problematic. One thing is, of course, he does have like a saw over here, and on this side he has like a tire. Now, the tire is not used for the robot mode at all, so if you remove the tire, or sorry, for the car mode. So if you remove the tire on robot mode, it won't affect the car mode at all. It'll still transform and work just the same. So that's what I did. There was just a screw, and I just unscrewed the tire, and it just popped right out. So I can always screw it back in if I ever wanted to, but I unscrewed it, and therefore the peg can go in a little bit more because the tire was kind of pushing the knife out a bit, which was definitely disappointing. And if you want, like I said, you can just rotate it to the back. It's rather annoying to do. I really wish that this was a more stable way to do it and not just like a little peg that you put in. But unfortunately, that's the only thing that we have. So here you go. This is just very annoying, but it is nice that they gave him movie-accurate accessories. They certainly didn't have to do that, and nobody really would have complained, but this just works a lot nicer. I find that this side right here has a lot more trouble staying in, just period, even without the tire, than the other side. It's just very annoying, and there you go. I don't think that the knives look that good this way. They look alright, but they don't really look that much more movie accurate or anything, so I don't find them super special. But overall, it's fine, and it still works good. Going over this face sculpt, which is another new addition to this sculpt. As you can see, looks fantastic. It's one thing that I love about this sculpt. This face sculpt looks exactly like Dino from the movie, and they did a wonderful job with it, especially with painting it. He looks awesome. He looks mean. He just looks so cool. Man, I hate these knives. They fall out so easily. I'm just going to take them out. There we go. And as you can see, he just looks awesome. Really do love it. Give you a nice little 360 of this head, considering it is definitely the most interesting piece about this new figure, and it just looks really cool. It does rotate really nicely, and then it does look up. The back panel does kind of hinder it, but if you move the back panel out a little bit, you will be able to move him up really far, as well as just this entire assembly is on a hinge, so you can really have him look up very far, which is quite nice. The ball joint is slightly looser than I would like. His head swivels easily, or extremely easily sometimes, which is annoying, but for the most part, it's fine, and overall, looks really great. Really do love that head sculpt. So overall, would I recommend this figure? For any big fan of the movie toy line, especially any big fan of the Dark of the Moon toy line, I would say it's a must-have. Dino is the only one that the only character that Takara never made, and finally is making a version of him at least, which is just it's a must-have in my opinion, because he's you know, he was a main Autobot that was just never made from the Dark of the Moon toy line, and although Hasbro, you know, didn't make quite a few figures as far as Soundwave, Q, Leadfoot, and Dino, Takara did make all those characters, and I did get them all because I just really love not only the Transformers series, but I did really enjoy Dark of the Moon, so it really made this special. Definitely had to get this. I would highly recommend doing my feet custom if any of you are interested in that. It's fairly easy to do, and I really just gave you all the instructions in this review of how to do it, and I think it makes them look 10 times better. I'm very happy that I did it, and just looks really good. And I'm not quite sure if I specified, but those barricade feet are from the movie 1 barricade figure, not from the Dark of the Moon barricade figure, so yeah. So there you go. Overall, I really do enjoy this figure. I like the base sculpt of it as far as the transformation and the car mode. I always have like that, and this robot mode certainly isn't that accurate to Dino because it is based off of another character, but it still is accurate enough in my opinion. He still works really well, and he looks really good with the rest of your figures. It's not like you can't really tell who he is. You know that this guy's Dino. I mean, he doesn't have to be perfect as far as accuracy to be able to tell that it's Dino. So overall, really do like this figure. Would highly recommend it to any Transformers fan. And there you go. That's my review of the Transformers Age of Extinction Lost Age Takara Dino. Thank you so much for watching.